Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to New Final Bell episode 32. And, well, WrestleMania just kicked off in high fashion last weekend.
Quite
As,
the WrestleMania weekend.
yeah, who would have thought that you would get Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestling in the match after 19 years? And also, a returning adrenaline in my.
Something, Cody. Well, actually, let me adjust those lyrics. Adrenaline in my soul. Guess who's back now? Cody Rhodes.
Yes, Cody Rhodes is finally is back in WWE. I never would have thought I saw today.
Not to
And
mention,
if
he
you're an
came.
AEW fan, you think, how the hell was he able to have the same gimmick and the same theme song that he had in AEW? Isn't that copyrighted?
No,
It is not,
no.
unfortunately. He was able to
Well,
get the same theme song and the same gimmick he had in AEW, which was
see,
crazy to think.
that's the thing too. He had that theme song since he left, pretty much. Like, even throughout Impact, ROH, WCPW, yeah, you might have forgotten about that one, but at one point he was in What Culture, and he was the defending internet champion. So, but yeah, all those years that he was away from WWE, he had Kingdom as his theme song. And when he met with Vince, he was like, "Hey, I want all of this." And Vince is like, "Well, that's what we're buying you for." So,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see him back. Um, and it kind of makes Seth Rollins look really weak because, you know, he's a former, he's one of your former world champions. He's done so much for you in the sense of, was a corporate guy. Because, if anybody remembers in 2015, 2016, when Seth Rollins was Mr. Kiss Ass Corporate Douchebag, um, yeah, you know, he was the WWE champion. He turned on the Shield. He beat down on Roman Reigns. Now, yes, Roman Reigns is the top dog. Of course, we'll talk about that a little bit soon. But it just makes you think, like, really, first off, you almost had him off of WrestleMania weekend. Then, you knew about, the rumors out there with, Cody Rhodes coming back, signing a deal, which is it's a multi-year deal. He's going to be there.
not a one off.
It's not one off. He's going to be there long term. As far as what brand he's going to be on,
He will be on Raw.
it wouldn't shock me if it's Raw.
He was drafted to Raw. It has been confirmed.
So as of us recording on Monday, he is officially signed to Raw. He will be there on the Raw after WrestleMania. As far as what his first feud will be in WWE, I would have no idea. I don't really watch WWE. Um,
By the time you were watching this on Wednesday, his promo on the Raw after WrestleMania will have already been like done and over with.
mm,
But by the time we are recording this, we have no idea what his first promo is going to be like. We have no idea. So,
exactly. So good for Cody Rhodes to be in WrestleMania, getting first off, well, it wasn't main eventing WrestleMania, but to get a victory, I'm pretty sure this was the last time he was at Mania was in the same place.
yes. Yes, it is.
It's crazy to think that his last Mania match was in Dallas, and his first WrestleMania match back from returning was also in Dallas.
Literally the same building, too.
Crazy to think about. He went from being Stardust to the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
This is I saw a post earlier that like it makes the most sense in a way, because he went from the AEW fans booing him when he left to WWE fans cheering him. That is literally the definition of undesirable to undeniable.
Yeah, I agree.
So, granted,
It makes you
yeah,
think like, yes, there's a lot of upside. The only thing I worry about all this is Vince McMahon has promised guys coming back, getting pushes. Jeff
yeah,
Hardy being one of them. Brought him back, thought he was gonna be a big mega star and out, be there and be the WWE champion, and then all of a sudden you push him out of the company, and then he leaves, and then he gets released. Who's to say that Cody Rhodes couldn't eventually do the same thing? Gets promised that big picture, going after the now unified Universal and WWE Championship. Um, who's to say that something like that couldn't happen? I'm not sugarcoating the whole okay, he signed to a multi-year deal thing. Yeah, okay, he's doing it for the money, but like how long until it's okay, yeah, I'm supposed to be this big star, but how long will it be before he gets keep on getting pushed, pushed further down the card? Look, it happened to
back to
Drew
being a
McIntyre.
mid
It
carder.
happened to Drew McIntyre. Happened to Bobby Lashley. Hence why he was competing against Omos.
Hmm.
Bobby Lashley is way too much bigger, is way too much of a star to have to go up against some guy that was glorified tag team specialist with AJ Styles.
Well, not only that, Omos, nothing against him personally, he just can't. He just can't wrestle.
If I'm WWE, I would push him into the main event picture as soon as possible,
Yeah,
especially on the in the Raw sense. The only thing I don't like with them unifying the WWE and the Universal title is one, I because of the brand split, the whole thing with him competing on both brands makes absolutely no sense. So I have a question. Are they eventually going to somehow bring back the world title and rebrand it? Like,
I don't know about that.
or are they going to find a loophole around him actually competing on both brands? Because I really want to know what's going to happen with all this. But who knows? Maybe it's just a one-off. This is where it draws me away from WWE. We've seen this three different times. Change it up. Oh, you have the WWE and the Universal titles for a reason. Each brand has its world. Its you know world championship. So, unifying them kind of makes almost no sense, and it's altogether. But I don't want to go too deep in it. Yes, Cody Rhodes does come back and wins. So for everybody that thought that Stone Cold Steve Austin was just going to be on a talk show and not compete, you're wrong, son. He wouldn't just get into ring shape just to not wrestle. It was actually longer than I expected it to be. I thought, okay, it's going to be a 5 minute match. Stone Cold is not going to be able to go for very long. No, well, he had a no holds barred match and took some crazy bumps in that match.
Yeah,
That man
he
is
took a
almost,
suplex on concrete.
yeah, concrete. He was drinking beer after beer after beer. Um, took some crazy spots
Wouldn't
in that
surprise
match,
me if he got drunk.
but the man can still wrestle, and it just shows you that if he didn't have all the injuries he had, WWE would still probably have had him as a wrestler, but he just was not happy
Yeah.
in
Well,
WWE, hence
well,
why he
yeah,
left.
creative differences, not to mention just the list of injuries that plagued his career.
But it just makes you think what the ruthless aggression era could have been if Stone Cold Steve Austin still had creative control of his character and was
Well, I
able to
mean,
just do whatever he wanted to. The ruthless aggression era, man, would have been
he
great
he
with
wouldn't really
Stone.
have had like full creative control, but at least like if the creative team just didn't give him like stupid storylines.
Because what
So
you look at it, what could have been? It could have been Brock versus Stone Cold Steve
that was
Austin.
the match we were supposed to get,
That's
and
what we were
the
supposed.
reason why Stone Cold walked out is because he knew he was booked to put over Brock. and he didn't want to do that, so he was like, okay, well, screw this, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
It's kind of crazy that in 2003 was the last year he wrestled, and then ended up being a WrestleMania the year afterwards because
As a
WrestleMania
special guest
as a
referee.
special guest referee.
For Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, which the entire Madison Square Garden crowd just completely crapped all over the match because they knew that both men were leaving. So
I'm sorry, that's kind of a slap in the face to Stone Cold Steve Austin, who
yeah,
walked out in the company and then, oh, well, we want you back, but as a special guest referee. Why would Austin agree to that in the first place? Like, it was not even the greatest match in the world anyway. But again, Stone Cold back, wrestles in a very lengthy match in the main event of night one. Um, so congrats to Stone Cold Steve Austin. What better way to retire in your home state and getting a win against Kevin Owens, which, I will say a loss is going to really damper Kevin Owens, but a win there, you know how much that would have solidified you? Like, I just beat a Hall of Famer in Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yeah,
Now he has that loss, and that just doesn't look good for Kevin Owens, which I'm gonna say this now. I don't know why the hell you would have stayed. There's just a brighter future out there for you outside of WWE, and I hate this shit on WWE. I really do. But it's kind of sad that you have to bring back all these guys for one main show, and then what's gonna happen? You're gonna be stupid ass WWE yet again. Cool. You can be, have a great WrestleMania event, which I hate to say it, this is probably the best WrestleMania put together match wise in quite some time.
yeah, yeah,
But it's sad you had to bring back Cody Rhodes and Stone Cold Steve Austin just to have that kind of WrestleMania success. Because night one, if you look at it statistically, night one, match wise, looks better than night two on
yeah,
paper. Just saying. Just saying.
yeah.
But um
So
continuing on,
over the
triple
weekend, we had quite the WrestleMania weekend, which started with Super Card of Honor.
oh well before that, it's kind of crazy. Triple H
Oh yes,
put his
yeah.
put his boots in the ring, so signifying he is officially done as a wrestler. Good
Sad
for
thing.
him. The
Sad thing
heart,
to see.
yeah, it's a sad thing to see, but it's a good thing for him to do because of his heart problems.
Yeah,
Um, and then I don't want to shine too much into this, but Roman Reigns is your unified champion. Acknowledge him, acknowledge his greatness. There has been speculation that maybe Brock Lesnar will leave again afterwards. I think I can see that happening. I can
where would
see.
he go though? Would
Um,
he go back to UFC?
I don't think that. I think he would just call it quits. But then again, who knows? He could go up against somebody else. But
Well,
there's
here's
not
the
really
thing too.
much.
Here's the thing too. If he goes back to UFC, they wouldn't even allow him to come back because of juicing.
Right.
So Brock, yeah, it's safe to say that he's done.
I think that this is. It's gonna be him calling it quits. Honestly, I mean, he's got a ranch. He's got
Yeah,
a
he's got a
farm.
beautiful wife at home to take care of. He's got kids to take care of. So
Right. Well, I wouldn't really call Sable nowadays beautiful, but yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying.
okay,
I know that's very dull, but
yeah,
that's mostly the WrestleMania talk. I know it's 14 minutes of of a lot of nonsense. So we're gonna go into our normal side
yeah.
talks,
So
where we had quite a
yeah,
bunch of
so
WrestleMania action.
but back to what I was saying. Over the weekend, WrestleMania weekend started off hot with a lot of like independent action over the weekend, and even just like WrestleCon and Dallas, Texas stuff during. But like I said, it started off with Super Card of Honor. So first, we will talk about the matches on the 0 hour. Colt Cabana beat Blake Christian. AQA beat Miranda Alizé. And Tully Blanchard had a mystery tag team that he was going to unveil against Shinobi Shadow Squad. of Cheeseburger and his partner.
Cheeseburger.
And Gates of Agony are the new tag team of Tully Blanchard Enterprises. They beat Shinobi's Shadow Squad, and then we had Dalton Castle beating Joe Hendry. And in the opening match of Supercard of Honor, Swerve Strickland beat Alex Zane.
A pretty
So,
good match, I will say. Swerve Strickland is a very underrated
yes.
wrestler. He
Yes,
really
he
is. Just look at the work that he's done in NXT and then now AEW and then also ROH. But just he's an amazing talent, and honestly, I'm glad that Tony Khan is giving him, the right motives and the right matches. Bring him up as a megastar. Wish he was doing a little bit better in the AEW right now, but with everything that's going on with what was I gonna say? With everything that's going on with him and Keith Lee against Team Taz there, good work, but man, Swerve Strickland just looked really good in Supercard of Honor, so good for him. And
yep. And then after that, we learn who Tully Blanchard's other client is for Tully Blanchard Enterprises that's going to go up against Ninja Mac. It is the Machine, Brian Cage.
Yeah, and he has a mohawk now.
It's great to see Brian Cage back.
Yeah, I'm
or at least back in a big capacity.
I'm grateful that Tony Khan has decided to give him a chance to, go out there and wrestle, and I really do think that he's going to be a mainstay on ROH, but seeing him out there might have shined new light that he might be able to get utilized more on AEW if you bring him in with Tully Blanchard. So I think it's the right move. I think having him with somebody means you can actually do something with him. So I'm really hoping that he can get utilized on AEW, but if not AEW, then probably ROH, honestly. Yeah. So
then we have Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty, which was a pretty highly anticipated match for this show.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal beat Lee Moriarty.
Yes, he did.
And then after the match, beat down Matt Sydal with the help of Sanjay Dutt, seemingly turning heel.
Well, I wouldn't even say seemingly turning heel. He definitely did turn heel. Sanjay Dutt made it very interesting. I will say this now. I think you're going to see an ROH tag team match with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt versus Lee Moriarty and Matt Sydal. If not on ROH, definitely on AEW, which would be interesting to see Sanjay Dutt on AEW. I mean, he's a backstage producer with ROH, but doesn't mean he's the same thing in AEW. So, I will say the thing I like about ROH, it's shining new light and new creative storylines in AEW that you can see happening. So this is what was beneficial for Supercard of Honor, because now Tony Khan's I got a lot of nice hot takes that I can bring into AEW right now. So I'm honestly thinking it's going to lead into a tag team match at some point. But what better way to have it with starting off with Supercard of Honor, Jay Lethal and Lee Moriarty. Man, I tell you, Lee Moriarty, even though he is a young talent, he has shown great promise in AEW and ROH. So honestly, I really do think that he's a talent that Tony Khan can build off of for the future. Definitely. And then Jay Lethal, we already all know what Jay Lethal can do. Longest reigning ROH world champion of 707 days.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. Was it?
I think it was 770 some odd. But regardless, close to 2 years that he held the championship. So
so Jay Lethal and Lee Moriarty put together a great match, but that lethal ejection was what got it done for Jay Lethal. So good for him.
And then we have the interim Ring of Honor World Women's Title match, as Deonna Purrazzo had other commitments that she couldn't be there to defend her actual Ring of Honor World Title. Mm-hmm. So they had to crown an interim, in which the winner will faced Deanna in a later date. So it was a contest between Mercedes Martinez and Willow Nightingale. Mercedes Martinez is your interim Ring of Honor World Women's Champion. She beat Willow Nightingale. Then, in quite possibly match of the night for Supercard of Honor, FTR and the Briscoes. Another highly anticipated match.
And it's such a great match.
It delivered on all fronts. Such a great match.
Yes.
Great pay. Like, it. You can't argue at this point that match is like at least 5 stars. At least.
Meltzer should give it 6 stars.
Maybe even 4.5 for the benefit of a doubt. Maybe even 4.5. But for the sake of this podcast, we're Dave Meltzer at this point. We're giving it 5 stars.
Yeah. So, FTR and the Briscoes lived up to the hype.
But regardless.
It sucks that the 12-time champs have...
Yeah, so...
This very well could have been the last time we are going to be seeing the Briscoes in ROH.
At this point, after the match, it seems like they're done with Ring of Honor. And that's okay, because not for nothing, they still have NWA. They're the Crockett Cup winners. They could challenge for the NWA tag team title. But I've also heard a lot of talk that, like, oh yeah, they might want to come into Impact. And it's like, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but at the same time, it's like, why don't they fulfill some contractual obligations, or just in general, why don't they sign a contract with NWA? It would make more sense because, like I said, they are the Crockett Cup winners. They should challenge for the NWA Tag Team Championships at a future time. So, but regardless, FTR beat the Briscoes. They are now the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. But after the match, seemingly building to that eventual rematch tonight on Dynamite, the Young Bucks beat down the Briscoes.
Which we will talk about. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. The Young Bucks do come in. They're like, we're not going to, you're not going to, it's not going to just be the AAA tag team titles that are going to be on the line. It's going to be your newly crowned ROH tag team titles that will be on the line. So that means later tonight, and I'm pretty sure the main event of Dynamite,
if it's not the main event, it's a sin.
FTR versus the Young Bucks for the AAA and the ROH tag team titles.
Part 2.
What a great fucking main event. Yeah. I'm sorry.
If it's not the main event, it's a sin.
I am sad that I cannot watch it live because I'll be out with buddies, but man, I really would. That's Dynamite shaping up to be something that is going to be easily the most watched and probably going to have easily over 1 million viewers.
If it doesn't, then I don't know what to say.
Because, I'm sorry, most of the matches that are happening, like Samoa Joe making his AEW debut on Wednesday, what,
spoiler alert.
I know.
So, but, okay, I just noticed that in my notes. But regardless, then we had the Ring of Honor World Television Championship being defended in a matchup. So it is.
You don't even have the world title thing on there, do you?
What world title thing?
The ROH world title
match. It's right under here.
Okay, never mind.
Regardless, though, so the Ring of Honor World Television Championship was being defended. Rhett Titus versus Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki was vying to win his first major world championship in an American promotion. So it was pretty needless to say, I had a feeling it wasn't going to be a good night for Rhett Titus, but at the same time, I did not expect this to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, his first American World Championship ever, Minoru Suzuki beat Rhett Titus.
Crazy.
But I don't think you can get any bigger than this next match. the Ring of Honor Pure Championship on the line. The technical beast, Josh Woods, versus the up-and-coming rising star from AEW, Wheeler Yuta. Who's going to come out on top? Do we get a new champion? Do we keep the same champion? Josh Woods, is he going to, and that's the thing. Josh Woods and Wheeler Yuta had a very, very good matchup. Unfortunately, I didn't watch a lot of it because it was going on at the same time that Impact Wrestling's Multiverse of Matches was going on. So, but we'll get to that after we're done talking about Supercard of Honor. I'm going to talk about Supercard of Honor first and then go into the Multiverse of Matches. But regardless, we have a new pure champion in Ring of Honor. Also, it was just a big night for Wheeler Yuta in general because not only did he win the pure championship, but Wheeler Yuta is hashtag All Elite.
Yeah.
Wheeler Yuta has signed his deal with All Elite Wrestling. What better way than after winning the Ring of Honor Pure Championship? I can almost guarantee you now that he's going to defend that championship with honor, no pun intended, at AEW shows and just Ring of Honor shows in general from now on.
Yeah, I think that's manageable. That's acceptable.
I mean, how can you not introduce pure wrestling rules to an audience that may or may not be familiar with pure wrestling rules with AEW? I'm sure, like myself, like Jason, we were watching Supercard of Honor as AEW fans. So, we knew a lot of the talent that was coming into Supercard of Honor that was, having matches for Supercard of Honor was already, AEW talent.
Right.
So, but, regardless, congratulations to Wheeler Yuta. Big victory on two fronts, winning the Pure Championship and seemingly signing your deal. Now, in the main event of Supercard of Honor, we had the unification. The undisputed Ring of Honor World Champion was going to be crowned. The interim champion, Jonathan Gresham, was going to face the actual Ring of Honor World Champion, Bandito, in a testament to determine who was the true and undisputed Ring of Honor World Champion. It was a very back-and-forth matchup between Gresham and Bandito, but ultimately, Jonathan Gresham beats Bandito. He is the undisputed Ring of Honor World Champion, but not after Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt had something to say to Jonathan Gresham and Lee Moriarty. So, after that's all said and done, Jay Lethal and Lee Moriarty, Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt have the ring all to themselves. They're holding up the Ring of Honor World title. Jay Lethal wants that title. He's like, this is, I need to cement my legacy. But, who comes out after the match? You already spoiled it, but Samoa Joe. He is back, and he is back with a vengeance. He's back to stake his claim.
Yep, he's back and healthier than ever.
Yes, and that is the one championship reign that Jay Lethal has not dethroned. Joe is the longest reigning champion ever over Jay Lethal. So, because I believe Samoa Joe held it longer than 2 years. As a matter of fact, right exactly at 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, Samoa Joe is the one person that Jay Lethal has yet to beat and basically stake his claim as one of the greatest Ring of Honor World Champions in the history of the company. So, but again, like you said, at Supercard of Honor, he seemingly announced at that point that he has signed his deal with All Elite Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But so that is Supercard of Honor. Let's get into the Impact Wrestling's multiverse of matches, where we had multiple different companies being represented for Impact Wrestling. But regardless, let's start off the night with Ultimate X. And it was for the X Division Championship, which I believe may or may not be one of the first times, if not the exact first time, that the X Division Championship has actually been defended in Ultimate X. But regardless, Trey Miguel retained, as I figured he would. But let's not take away anything from the fact that Jordynne Grace was involved in her first ever intergender Ultimate X match. She was part of the first Knockout Ultimate X match back at Hard to Kill, but now she is in an intergender Ultimate X. Then we have mixed tag team action. Mickie James and Nick Aldis representing the NWA versus Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green representing Impact Wrestling. Mickie James and Nick Aldis beat Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green, getting their revenge from the Crockett Cup because of that wonky finish that forced Matt Cardona to retain his championship. But regardless, then we get a bit of a dream match, I guess you could say, for one Speedball Mike Bailey. He faced Alex Shelley and beat Alex Shelley. Then we have a fatal four-way tag team match where you had the Influence versus the unlikely duo of Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost, who have been feuding for a while. That's what I mean. It's the multiverse of matches. You get random pairings, and you wonder, how will they coexist? Then we had Decay and Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. But like I said, the Influence retained. Then in the quite possibly the biggest multiverse of matches, like conundrum that is just crazy, the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii, showed up to Impact Wrestling and faced Eddie Edwards, who, by the way, was not representing Impact Wrestling. Because he's part of Honor No More, he is not representing Impact Wrestling. He despises anything and everything that Impact Wrestling stands for. He represented Pro Wrestling Noah. So, but it didn't matter who he represented. Tomohiro Ishii beat the ever-loving piss out of Eddie Edwards. So, the Stone Pitbull was just like, Eddie Edwards was seemingly throwing everything, and Stone Pitbull just doing his usual, like, come on, hit me. So then we had the unlikely, again, multiverse of matches, unlikely pairings. Josh Alexander and Jonah, who not that long ago, I believe at Hard to Kill, were feuding. So now they're teaming up to face PCO and Moose. And Josh Alexander and Jonah beat PCO and Moose. Then, of course, it's not Impact Wrestling without the Champ Challenge from Deonna Purrazzo. So she was there for her Champ Challenge. Who's going to answer? Who out of the multiverse of matches is going to answer? It was kind of a letdown because I was like, what if it's Taya Valkyrie? We will talk about Taya Valkyrie. But the opponent for Deonna Purrazzo was the woman that she actually beat for the AAA Reina de Reinas title, Fabi Apache. She basically was claiming her rematch, but of course Deonna Purrazzo retained. But I mentioned Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie made her presence felt. She came back to she is seemingly back in Impact Wrestling in some way, shape, or form. But she has laid out the challenge for Rebellion for Deonna Purrazzo. AAA Reina de Reinas Championship. Taya Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo. It has now been made official. Rebellion, April 23rd, on Fight TV and pay-per-view. Taya Valkyrie, Deonna Purrazzo, AAA Reina de Reinas Championship, because Taya Valkyrie has earned that opportunity, I believe, at Triple Mania. So, if not Triple Mania, it was definitely a AAA show. So, then we have Chris Sabin and Jay White. Now, Chris Sabin has been, or I should say, Jay White has already faced one half of the Motor City Machine Guns with Alex Shelley, and I believe that match was at Sacrifice. I believe it was Sacrifice. Either way, those two have already faced off, and now Chris Sabin facing Jay White. Now the difference between the match between Jay White and Alex Shelley and the match between Jay White and Chris Sabin is Jay White beat Alex Shelley. He did not beat Chris Sabin. But after the match, Steve Macklin, for some reason, beats down Chris Sabin and Jay White. Why? Because he's in it for himself. And in the main event of the multiverse of matches, the big match that everybody was looking forward to, the Good Brothers versus the Briscoes. Who was going to win? Were the Briscoes finally going to get a win during their Friday night? Because they had already lost their Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. Were they actually going to get a win against the Good Brothers? No, unfortunately not. Good Brothers just did not have a good Friday night. And Good Brothers beat the Briscoes with help from Jay White, as was to be expected, because Bullet Club is for life. So Jay White helping the Good Brothers beat the Briscoes. Like I said, they just had a rough night.
Yeah, rough Friday night.
Rough Friday night for the Briscoes. Hopefully they can bounce back from all of this on either NWA or Impact or Ring of Honor, wherever they decide to go.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we get into the AEW side of things. Starting off with Dynamite, CM Punk comes down to start off in Dynamite yet again for second week in a row and beats Max Caster with the Anaconda Vice. Seems to be his go-to move as of late. Very interesting to see him beat opponents with the Anaconda Vice, because even in WWE hardly used the Anaconda Vice.
I mean,
so
yeah.
And after the match, CM Punk vows before his time is over in AEW, he will be the AEW World Champion. Thoughts?
I truly believe that.
I think that he'll be a world champion one more time before he leaves. I don't think he's going to win.
He would have to be. He would have to be. It would be a sin to not make him world champion before his career is over.
He says he doesn't know if he's going to be, face off against Adam Cole or looking down a barrel of cowboy shit. So we'll definitely have to see. My prediction is a triple threat match at Double or Nothing for the AEW World
Heavyweight title.
Because I think that some way. I know that Adam Cole and Adam Rampage will face off against each other because they're kind of building towards something like that. But I think CM Punk is going to have some say into that. So we got another month away until that pay-per-view happens. So we'll happen to see. As far as I know, that there's a lot of direction of what for Double or Nothing than there was anywhere close for it for Revolution until it came closer. So at least now there's quite a lot of direction of where they can go with with Double or Nothing, which is kind of making it a little bit better than Revolution. But speaking of FTR, we have talked about them. This was also before, Friday. FTR doesn't want to get in the middle of MJF and Wardlow, and he seemed very hesitant to be in a Pinnacle. Of course, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but yeah, it does kind of seem that they're a little hesitant. They're saying that Wardlow is their dog, Wardlow is their boy, even though MJF's like, That's funny because Wardlow always talked a lot of shit about you guys behind your backs. And it sounded like FTR's like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's interesting too, and I didn't even have this down, but even at Supercard of Honor, you could definitely tell that like FTR are kind of planting the seed for a bit of an out of character face turn, because they actually showed respect to the Briscoes and even called them like the best tag team of all time, which, like I said, is out of character for FTR because they considered themselves to be the greatest tag team of all time.
yeah, I'm
So,
kind of shocked about that too.
and even then, like you said, they seemingly wanted like no part of being involved in the Pinnacle and like being involved in MJF's mess with Wardlow. So it's safe to say they're planting the seed for a rather unusual
Yeah,
face turn.
very soon that MGF is going to be by himself, and it's not going to look very good for him. So I'm honestly totally fine with that. Um,
Well,
I think
it's
Pinnacle will be over with.
it's funny though too because it seems to me like FTR no longer want to be top guys with the Pinnacle because MJF has said when you're in the Pinnacle you're always on top. So it seems like FTR don't want to be those kind of top guys.
They don't want to be the top guys, but they don't want to be those kind of top guys.
Yes,
They don't want to be riding on top of MGF. No.
top guys out
So
of the Pinnacle
yes, out of the Pinnacle. Going forward, John Moxley and Jay Lethal, first time, at least in
that I know of
the
that
first
we know.
time in AEW, at least that these two men have gone up against each other. Could have gone up against each other way before then. I don't
I
know,
doubt it. It might be a first time ever matchup,
but
but either way, it
man,
did
Jay
not
Lethal
disappoint.
gets no respect in AEW. He has not really won the big matches there. So, but John Moxley, beats Jay Lethal in a pretty back and forth where I thought Jay Lethal was going to get the victory over John Moxley. I thought, he's going to give him a lethal ejection, maybe somehow get the upset over John Moxley. No, it didn't happen like that. Reverses the lethal injection, gives him the paradigm shift. 1, 2, 3, John Moxley is your winner. Or at first, Moxley or Jay Lethal was trying to extend his hand, and Moxley slapped it out of him. He's like, "You got to earn my respect if you want to
Hmm.
get that handshake."
Well, not to mention, Jay Lethal was just trying to follow through with the code of honor. So, but in a sense, I
And then
almost
after
feel
the
like,
match, John Moxley got Jay Lethal's respect.
oh yeah,
Resp-
but like I was gonna say is I almost feel like John Moxley isn't the kind of person that would adhere to like a code of honor, really.
oh, probably not. I mean,
So
I think
I
this
mean,
one's a
he'll shake your hand if he feels like you're deserving of a handshake, but other than that, it's like, yeah, code of honor from John Moxley, just no, just just no.
yeah. I mean, I honestly really do think that you know Moxley's extending the hand out. That was great to see. But right now, I think that Jay Lethal could eventually see his way into the Blackpool Combat Club. We'll happen to see. I think that's going to happen. Something different for him, something character change for him because ultimately I saw a heel turn at um, Supercard of Honor. So we'll have to watch and see. Well, there is somebody that is back after thought he was going to be home. Well, Wardlow is back. Well, FTR, speaking of FTR, they were going up against the Ass Boys or Gun Club or whatever you want to call them. And a pretty, back and forth match. But can we talk about Billy Gunn's haymaker on
Oh
Cash
yeah,
Wheeler? Damn. And you know why I crossed that, man. He just punches him and it's like, suck on that. But damn. But FTR does get the victory over Gun Club. So, still solidifying that they are just one of the best tag teams out there, honestly. FTR has just been on a roll right now. It's kind of sad because seeing the kind of success that they have right now, if they were ever to come back to WWE, I feel like Vince McMahon would have no other choice to have to make
Vince
them.
doesn't like tag team wrestling, plain and simple.
No, he doesn't.
So there would be no room on the card for FTR.
No,
And
there
even
really
then,
wasn't.
Vince would never give them the light of day that they're getting right now. He never really did give them the light. Like, okay, yeah, they were Triple Crown Tag Team Champions, but other than that, it's like, what more would you have done with them? Like, yeah, okay, they were two-time NXT Tag Team Champions, two-time, what is it, Raw or
Raw tag
SmackDown?
team.
Two-time Raw Tag Team Champions, and then a one-time SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But other than that, it's like,
Actually, maybe they were two-time SmackDown Tag Team
either
Champions and
way,
one-time Raw.
either way, they've pretty much done everything that there is to do as a tag team in WWE. So there really
Right.
wasn't much left to do with them other than to just like. But honestly, that is a case of like they did the right thing with.
But during the match, Wardlow came out beating down
He
security.
destroyed the DPW roster, the
I know.
Deadlock roster.
I know. He
But
beat down all the security guards there, but then got taken out. As MGF is like, good, get rid of that pig, get rid of Wardlow. I don't want to see him. He shouldn't be here. He's not signed with AEW. But man, it was kind of weird to see that all happening during a tag team match. But FTR gets the victory over Gun Club, and then FTR again might not be seeing eye to eye with MGF. And are the Pinnacle going to be no more? Yeah, I think so. I think that the Pinnacle very soon is going to be no more, and it's just going to be MGF and Shawn Spears.
Something tells me that during their match against the Young Bucks tonight, they're actually going to shake the Young Bucks' hand
They probably will.
and like respect them as a great tag team. Which again is like very
Again,
uncharacteristic.
if you had to choose between the Young Bucks and FTR in that tag team match for the tag titles, who would you go with? Would you say FTR retains, or you think the Young Bucks are going to win both those tag team titles?
I don't think it would be the Young Bucks, but at the same time, it's like it would be a little weird seeing it. Like it would really be weird seeing, uh, excuse me, the Young Bucks as like, excuse me. I know it's happened before that the Young Bucks have been like Ring of Honor tag team champions, but it would just be really weird seeing them with the AAA tag team titles. Like I can get past the part of seeing them as like Ring of Honor tag team champions again. It's just the AAA tag team champions part that would be like, okay, sure.
So, uh, going forward, we bring back the sign of the week for yet again. Will Smith for Blackpool Combat Club. Yes, make him the president. Make him the president. No longer going to be William Regal. It's going to be
Keep his
Will
wife's
Smith.
name out your fucking mouth.
Yes, please. All right, we continue. The Jericho Appreciation Society says it is only 5 members, and if anyone else wants to join, they can go fuck themselves.
Yep.
Literally said GFY.
They are sports entertainers.
Then you're trying to look to see if Eddie Kingston and his group are there. Looks through the one, not there. Goes through the other one. To surprise, a big bitch. Surprise! Eddie Kingston and Pride and Powerful are back in the fold as they're beating down part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. But to no surprise, the numbers game kind of gets to Eddie Kingston and Pride and Powerful.
Hey, but who knows? Eddie Kingston might have some backup.
Yeah. We said it before on the show that we think that he's going to have backup, and it's going to be backup of
Homicide and Hernandez.
I think it's going to be LAX making a reunion in AEW. So I really do think that we're going to see that. It would be great to see, LAX back in AEW. So what happens next? I think we're going to see it unfold where it's going to be faction versus faction. I think it's going to be LAX versus Jericho Appreciation Society. You get the pro wrestlers in LAX versus the sports entertainers and Jericho Appreciation Society. So I think that's what's next, and I think that's going to be for great freaking pay-per-view wrestling right there. I really do think. Um, so this is a name that we definitely know about, with WWE and Shayna Baszler and her goons there. Marina Shafir, who
Yes,
is the wife,
one of the four horsewomen of MMA,
yes, is
and the
going to
wife of
be
Roderick Strong.
is going to be the next one to face off against Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship. Thoughts? Will she actually be a true, challenge for Jade Cargill, as Jade's been dominant and dark?
On Dark and Dark Elevation, yes. Honestly, I don't. Oh no, actually, no, no Dark Elevation, just Dark.
Just dark. I was
But
mostly in Orlando.
regardless, if they've been building her up well, then I think she could be a solid contender. But me personally, I just don't think that they really you know, if you were gonna have her contend for the TBS title, like you should have had her have more matches like on a television scale, not just a YouTube scale.
Oh, I agree.
Because, that's the thing too. Your main AEW audience is the television audience. Like, yeah, you have those hardcore AEW fans that are going to watch all the programming for AEW, even the YouTube shows. But, like, you know, not a lot of people watch Dark anymore, or Dark Elevation for that matter. So,
Right.
you know, yeah, because for a while there, I was watching Dark, but then they started lengthening the shows, and it was like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah, it
So,
was. Um, I think Marina Shafir can be a challenge for Jay Cargill, but
like,
I
okay,
don't think Jay Cargill is going to lose right then and there.
if we're going strictly off of like the way that they made her, like, you know, the way that they presented her in NXT, then, you know, she could definitely be. But again, like, I haven't really seen her presentation in AEW simply because, like I said, I don't watch Dark. So, you know, just based on that alone, though, I could probably just say, like, yeah, again, if she had more television matches instead of like matches on AEW Dark,
Uh-huh.
maybe then I would have been like, okay, yeah, she's a credible opponent for Jade, but
Right.
she just hasn't had those television matches, so it's like it's really hard for me to even call her a credible opponent for Jade Cargill.
I know. So we got to see Brian Danielson and Wheeler Yuta yet again, but man, Wheeler Yuta was, getting it getting it into with Brian Danielson. They had a pretty good
Yeah,
back and forth match, but I tell you something, Wheeler, you don't spit in someone's face, because man, you're
hell
gonna get
no.
your face kicked in and you're gonna
You're
get
gonna
knocked the
get your
fuck.
fucking head kicked in.
He got that, and he also got knocked the fuck out. He
Yeah,
passed the hell out with you know, with everything and the label lock. Brian Danielson beats Wheeler Yuta after he got spit in the face. Yeah, Wheeler Yuta. I think you learned that you don't spit in anybody's face, especially Brian Danielson's, because he's gonna kick your ass afterwards. So,
yeah.
um, it sucks to see Wheeler Yuta lose, but who's to say that with now being the pure champion that you don't see him start racking up wins in ROH
It's
or in
possible.
AEW?
ROH or AEW or both.
So Adam Cole and Red Dragon come out, have their championship celebration with titles that are not even theirs. They stole them, even though they claim that, oh well, people think that we stole these. No, we just decided
How
to
can you
take what's
steal
ours.
something that belongs to you, or something they said along those
Then Adam
lines?
Hangman Page comes down and beats them down. Was doing pretty well against the three before um, didn't come out. Then Jurassic Express and Christian Cage come out and beat down the Undisputed Elite and throw them in the ring. Could we see a six-man tag team match again?
Well, I know later tonight we're getting Christian Cage and Adam Cole, but
I think we're gonna get that. As far as um, we very well could see something with Jurassic Express and Red Dragon. So I mean, I don't know what could happen there. Um, Makes you think if you're going to get a rematch. I think there's going to be a rematch between Red Dragon and Jurassic Express. It'd suck again if it would be a double or nothing, but it would make sense. And don't be shocked if this time it ends up being Cole and Red Dragon winning this time compared to when it was at Revolution they lost. So I think we'll see something lead into, with Cole and Red Dragon and Jurassic Express and Hangman Page. Even though we have already seen it before, I think this time it'd be cool to see like all three of those titles on the line, like the world title and the tag team titles on the line. So it'd be cool. Thunder Rosa comes out, says that she is the foundation of the women's division, and whoever wants a piece of her, come and get her. And says she has some words for Nyla Rose. Says she will, you know, or does she need Vicky to dumb it down for her? It's basically saying that she might be too dumb to realize the kind of words that she's
well,
speaking,
basically what she was saying with that is that Vicky does all of the talking for Nyla.
which is very true. Sometimes that's what happens. Um, and then Rosa didn't go through hell, did not go down without a fight. So better watch out for Thunder Rosa there, Nyla Rose. Um, yeah, FTR to face the Young Bucks and put both of their titles on the line. Tony Storm has officially made her AEW debut and went up against the Bunny and beat her
Oh yeah,
to enter
she's
the
gonna
Owen
be
Hart tournament.
she's gonna be raking in that dough though, because not only does she have her AEW contract, she's also making that OnlyFans money.
Yes, yes, she is. So if you're into that, which we are not, go ahead and check that out. But Tony Storm, man, she looked really good against the Bunny, and she is just one badass chick, and rightfully so to beat the Bunny. Nyla Rose says she's ready to take on Thunder Rosa and says she's the foundation instead. Um, we'll find out. And then in the main event of Dynamite, Andrade El Idolo beats Darby Allin. And then the Andrade family office come down to beat them up, and then the Hardys come down to help out and settle the score. There has also been speculation that Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb was a little too much for Mark Quinn because his whole entire body weight went on him. Honestly, he's been doing that for years with the Swanton Bomb. Yeah, maybe Mark Quinn wasn't really ready for it and looked a little shaken out afterwards, but maybe you should just know that Jeff Hardy is that kind of guy. Just be ready for it. Protect yourself. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
Um, but Andrade El Idolo and Darby Allin, pretty good match. Um, Darby just got thrown away around like a rag doll in that match. Trying to do as much as he could. Andrade El Idolo just showcasing why he, with putting on the bulk of muscle that he's put on, to showcasing that if was given the right kind of opportunity in the matches, he can go out there and compete against anybody. But man, I think Andrade is somebody that can be shown that he can eventually be a future AEW Royal Champion, something that WWE apparently didn't see on the main roster. But starting off the night with Rampage, the Young Bucks in Top Flight. They start the match off, man, very, action packed, with the flips and all the other stuff that they were doing. These two tag teams, I tell you, Top Flight needs more opportunities. They are just way too good to just have them lose and lose and lose and lose all the time. You got to start building up
Yeah.
as a tag team. They're way too good. There's just way too much commitment with Top Flight that keep on having them lose right now. They are tag team championship worthy. I get it. You have teams like the Young Bucks, like Jurassic Express, like the Hardys, like Dread Dragon, and all the other stuff. But right now, Top Flight, I hate to say it, they are definitely future tag team champions. The Acclaimed are future tag team champions. They're just, I know we talked about it before here. There's a lot of tag teams that should get opportunities, and of the two, I'm glad that Jurassic Express finally did get their opportunity to be the tag team champions after so many attempts at getting it. But I think the Top Flight definitely needs an opportunity at the tag team titles, as well as they Acclaimed. So it would be nice to see as far as that goes. But yes, the Young Bucks do beat Top Flight with a BTE trigger. I hope there's something that comes out of the Young Bucks winning there. It would have been better if it was Top Flight that got the win over the Young Bucks because, there's a bigger upside with Top Flight than there are the Young Bucks right now.
Yeah.
Dan Lambert claims that Sammy and Ty aren't getting their match, and then Sammy it says that it was kind of disgusting that they took new photos with the TNT Championship, and then Sammy's like, "Hey Dan, okay, if we can't get this match done, how about this?" Ends up smashing Dan Lambert's car, and man, that car just got demolished with that sledgehammer there. But makes you think, what will happen next? I think we're gonna get a match. I think Dan Lambert has seen enough and heard enough. I think we're gonna get a match, and I think it's gonna be happening sooner than later.
Sammy wants a tag team match. Quite possibly a mixed tag team match.
Yeah, I think Paige Van Zant's going to be involved in some capacity. As far as who's going to be teaming up with Paige Van Zant, I think it's going to be Ethan Page. Scorpio Sky is probably going to end up defending the TNT Championship on the line. As far as who we will face, I have no idea. I really don't. It would be nice to see Paige put it on the line against somebody that kind of deserves it. But as far as right now, the only one that would make the most sense is probably CM Punk. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna get that world title opportunity yet. Danhausen finally has that interview. He tried to
curse Hook.
He tried to curse Hook again, but it is just not working. So it makes you think, are we
Sorry, audience, you've all been cursed now.
Yes, you are cursed. And then
but it seems
Danhausen's like, usually anytime he does this, bad things happen. Well, it's not happening for Hook.
Seems that Hook is immune to being cursed.
Yeah, he's a natural born killer. Makes you think, is this going to eventually lead into something? Are we going to see Danhausen actually make his AEW in-ring debut against Hook?
I would like to see that happen.
I think it's going to happen. I think
it'd be a very nice, very evil debut.
Competing on Rampage makes the most sense. I don't think he's going to be that kind of talent that's going to be really wrestling on Dynamite. Rampage makes a little bit more sense.
We'll see. We'll see if he eventually gets that TV time on Dynamite. But at least, right now, can slowly build him up on Rampage. Same thing with what they're doing with Hook.
Yeah. So going forward, House of Black beat Fuego del Sol, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. Um, poor Dark Order, but Fuego, you done messed up, son. You need to stop going after the House of Black
Yeah,
because
don't keep egging them on.
don't keep egging them on because you're just gonna get burned every single time. House of Black, they are just one lethal. And I've even said it before on the show. Marty already knows. I really do think that they're the best trio in all of professional wrestling right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
There's no beating the House of Black right now. There really isn't. That
Also, Brody King is the man. I met him. He's he's awesome. Very humble guy too.
they all look very humble gentlemen, but let me tell you something. You don't want to step in the ring with them. You really don't. Um, Going forward, the Young Bucks accept FTR's challenge, and we will get that match later on tonight. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the main event in FTR versus Young Bucks 2. Um, Jamie Hayter beat Sky Blue to enter her shot into the um, Owen Hart Women's Tournament. Penta says, "Don't forget about the Death Triangle, and if you keep messing with Fuego, they will get them. They will give them hell." Do you think that we'll see
Interesting.
Fuego joining up with um, Penta
Pack.
and Pac? I think so. Might be the only way that he can actually, Fuego can actually get a win. I know
Hey, I look at it this way. Fuego reminds Penta too much of Phoenix.
he does,
So,
bro. What if next week we think that it's Fuego del Sol and
but
it
it's
actually
actually Phoenix.
Phoenix, dude? That would be crazy, crazy, crazy. Somehow it wears a long sleeve shirt to cover up the tattoos. We don't even think it is, and then um, takes off the shirt and it's like, I am actually. Um, I could see something like that happening. I think that it would be the best way to bring back Ray Phoenix. Because I was almost thinking, like, what if, Fuego could end up being, Ray Phoenix, but it can't be because Ray Phoenix has tattoos and Fuego does not. But who's to say that Fuego somehow ends up being Ray Phoenix? A returning Ray Phoenix, which I'm shocked that he hasn't even come back yet. Um, but that don't mean anything. Yeah, I think that there's going to be a tag team, a 6-man tag team match, Fuego and Death Triangle versus the House of Black. I think it's going to be coming soon. Uh, man, in a very highly anticipated match, Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs. The ending was a little kind of didn't make any sense, but the continue the storyline, it did. But the way that Powerhouse Hobbs was more than ready to get the victory. Unfortunately, the ref was distracted. Swerve Strickland comes out and um, takes down Ricky Starks. But Keith Lee beats Powerhouse Hobbs with a Big Bang catastrophe. Um, and then Ricky Starks I'm pretty sure puts what Swerve Strickland through the table. I'm pretty sure, right? Oh yeah, with the with his finisher there. What-
The house call?
No, not the house call.
His one move where he like sets him up and then
Yeah, what's
I don't know the name of it.
oh Ram what the fuck is it called? I can't
I don't know what the name of it is.
I can't what was one move there? The Ramshaw the
Rochambeau. Are you talking? Oh, okay,
Rochambeau, yes.
Rochambeau.
He gets him with a Rochambeau through the table. And then Hobbs hits Lee with a chair and then fights back but gets speared through the table. Has his rivalry started hitting its boiling point? I think so. I think um this is a very decent rivalry. I think it's going to lead into the pay per view, honestly. Marty, if you had to give it thoughts of who's going to win, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee, or Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky
You
Starks.
gotta give the win to Swerve and Keith Lee.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you would have to give them the victory. You can't give it to Ricky Starks and Powerhouse
No, you
Hobbs.
can't give the win to Team Taz, although something tells me that they probably would.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me, but ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this episode of No Final Bell. Make sure to follow us on social media at Tinkle Sports. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on all of our videos on Tinkle Sports Entertainment. Um, we have shows every Sunday at 9 a.m. is Tinkle's Sunday Morning Tinkle. Every Tuesday at 5 is Turn 4, and every Wednesday at 5 is No Final Bell. As always, everybody, please, you know, keep supporting us, and we will see you in the next video.